Good morning, everybody. It is a little bit after 9 a.m. on a Monday here in Chicago. Today is my rest day for the way that I've set up a Chicago Marathon training block. Last week was a lot of fun, a lot of workouts, very intense, a lot of miles. Really enjoyed it all, but today what I want to do is give my body a break, even though I feel like I can get out there and get some more running miles in. So instead, what I'm going to do is go for a bike ride. In yesterday's video, I talked about how the theme for this marathon training block was going to be flexibility and adaptability, changing plans whenever I needed to. I didn't quite think that I was going to be so literal so soon, because the day after I made that video for today's bike ride, I ended up having to completely change plans. I mean, ultimately, the bike ride itself was fine. My goal for the day was to do just 2 hours, but going at a nice kind of easy pace, just getting out there, spending some time on the bike, getting the heart rate up, but not anything too stressful, getting some recovery kind of work in for my rest day for this marathon training block. And I was gonna bring this GoPro Hero Max with me. Now, normally I shoot with the Insta360 because I love the way that it could shoot up to 100 frames per second at a total of 3K, which ends up being, you know, a pretty decent image. And that's what lets me do those wonderful like swooping motions in slow motion while I'm running. Now, when I'm on the bike, I don't really need to do a lot of slow motion, or I don't find it as compelling. I like to keep things at regular speed just to kind of show how kind of fast things are moving relative to running. And so I thought, if I don't need the extra frame rate, I should try the GoPro Hero Max again and give it another shot. I didn't like working with it when I first got it. I didn't like the limitations on frame rate, but I do like the image quality. And if I'm going to shoot at 5K, 30 frames per second, this is probably the better one to shoot with. Plus, I've also found that the audio is just horrible on the Insta360 X2. Today is my rest day, the way I've set up my training schedule for the rest of Chicago. So today, I'm going for a nice and easy ride. I'm not really riding, just using the bike as a way of getting to a swim. The X1 had much better audio, I think. I don't know what happened with the X2, but the audio was much worse. And so like talking to it while on the bike has been just miserable. So I thought the GoPro Hero Max has great audio, and you were able to hear some of that in the clip that I played for you already. The audio works great. So I thought this would be perfect. But the problem is, the way that I've set up the quick capture on this, and what quick capture is, it's you press the shutter button and it automatically turns on the camera, starts recording, and then when you hit it again, it stops the recording and turns the camera off for you, so you save a lot of battery life. And for the most part, I spend most of the time riding my bike like kind of holding it like this, or if I'm holding it in the middle, like I'm holding it kind of like holding the handlebars this way while I'm holding just like the stick, and it's not really recording for most of the time. So it's very kind of manageable in that way. Problem is, the first 2 clips that I shot today shot in 360, exactly as I intended. The other like 15 to 20 clips that I shot did not shoot in 360. And that's because one of the features of the GoPro Hero Max. Now, one of the things that this thing can do is not only use both of the cameras in 360 mode, but it can also use just one of the cameras and use it as kind of like a regular GoPro. So whatever the reason, after the first 2 clips that I shot, which worked in 360 just fine, the rest of them only recorded from one of the cameras. So I have a bunch of footage today, some of it where I thought I was talking to the camera, other times where I thought I had the camera behind me, in front of me, to the side, swooping around, doing all sorts of fun stuff. I thought it was gonna be a beautiful way to show you guys the Chicago Lakefront Trail, the entire length of it today. That was the goal. But what I mostly have is footage of the ground, because it's just the one camera that this camera, as I'm holding it out, it's pointing like straight down. Normally, if it's capturing 360, even if I hold it this way, it's still getting me, it's getting in front, it's getting everywhere. So very disappointed when I found that out today when I got home after my 2-hour ride, especially because another part of today's run was I wanted to kind of show you guys some of the great kit that Triathlon Taren had sent to me, featuring the new Mottiv branding. He sent me cycling jersey and the bib shorts, and I did really enjoy them, so I got to talk about them during the ride. The chamois in these bib shorts, really nice. The best I've ever ridden with, so I do really appreciate that it's not a pain in my butt. You don't see me talking about it, you can hear me talking about it, but you're again just looking at the ground because this camera behaves funny. So what's the reason why it behaved that way? I dug into the settings, and you can turn quick capture on or off. It's not a feature you have to have on. I like to have it on. That's how I use my GoPros. That's how I use my Insta360. It works in the same way. And I had the quick capture set on. And in the settings, you could tell it when you do quick capture, what do you want it to do? For whatever reason, quick capture is not working. So I looked further into the settings. There's another setting in the GoPro Hero Max settings that says what's the default when you just turn the camera on. And the default that I had left it on, I don't know if I set it that way or if that's how it came, was that when you just turn the camera on and using the power button, not the quick capture feature, but when you just turn it on, is to go into hero mode, which is just using the one camera. So I think what was going on is that even though quick capture was set to do something different, that other setting was overriding what I had told it to do. And that way, when I did quick capture, it was doing the one camera only mode. Problem is, I've since this ride been just randomly testing what happens when I do quick capture. And it doesn't always give me the one camera. Sometimes it does give me 360. So it's just inconsistent. I've changed the setting now, and I think from now on it should work as I intend, going directly into 360 camera mode, because I've changed the default power on setting to be also set to 360. So I think it's going to be fine now. I may try it again, but like I lost an entire ride's worth of footage today, and it's a huge bummer because I don't know when the next time is going to be where I'm going to be able to go out for a 2-hour ride. And I don't know. It's just this camera has disappointed me so many times. Like I have a hard time trying to give it another shot. I do like the quality of the 360 footage that I got today. I like it a lot. That's the thing. But like, I know that I can't use it for running because it doesn't give me enough frame rates for what I want to use. I know some of you out there are using it, like Jay Preza is using it on Instagram really well, but it just doesn't work for me. So, so disappointed. And the other reason why I wanted to use it, even though I've been very happy with the Insta360, is that I keep scratching these lenses. The last time I scratched it was because I was slowing down riding the bike, and I have, the clip-in shoes, and I forgot to clip out. And so as the bike like came to a stop, I just tipped over, and then when I landed, I dropped the camera and I like landed right on the top of one of the lenses. And there's definitely some scratches on there. So like I was thinking this would be a really good time to kind of switch cameras a little bit. But I just think that like I would rather have a predictable scratched lens that has poor image quality even on its best day than this thing, which has burned me now multiple times. But I don't want to leave it like on a completely negative. I hate to like bash something even if it's really frustrating and it deserves it. So I think what I want to do for the rest of today's video is talk about some of the stuff that Taren sent, because I think it looks really great. So here was the cycling shirt jersey that I was wearing today. It's still a little bit wet, but you can't smell it, so that's fine. But it's a little bit wet from the ride today, but the material is super lightweight and very, very soft. Very different than kind of like the tech shirts that I typically run in. I love the way that it's a lot more fitted in the arms, which makes sense for something that you're gonna be on the bike in. You don't want like, loose sleeves that are gonna flap in the wind. So it's very, very comfortable. It's got 3 really deep, wide pockets in the back. It's got some reflective strips. The pockets were nice at holding. I had like kind of like my mask in there and my phone and then my keys in the back as well. Everything stayed there nice and securely. I would have put gels in there if I was gonna bring gels or food for today, but I just had 2 bottles and that ended up being just fine for the amount of riding I was doing. The other thing that I like about this, which I don't know if all cycling jerseys have this, they probably do, I'm just not that familiar. It's like grippy on the bottom. So like when you put it down, even though like you're hunched over and you're riding a bike and the wind is gonna try and pick that shirt up, it stays put. So really nice. I love the way this is constructed. Very comfortable to wear for the ride today. This is the bib shorts that I was wearing. This is my first set of bib shorts that I've ever had. very, very comfortable. The mesh on the back here is super stretchy, very breathable, and the straps are wide and soft. So that was really nice to wear. And I did mention during the ride today, but of course we didn't get that footage because the camera failed me. The chamois on these cycling shorts, the bib, the most comfortable chamois that I've ever ridden on. So very happy to have that for the long run for today. But that's not all Taren sent me. Taren sent me a bunch of stuff. He sent me the 2 bottles that I had on the bike for today, also with the Mottiv branding. He sent a headband, again with the Mottiv on it. So that there's that. It's like a mesh headband. It gets a little bit thinner in the back, so that's pretty cool. He also sent a tri-suit, which tri-suits, I wore a tri-suit for my first triathlon. And it took me a while to figure out how to put it on, but what it is, it looks like a kind of like a shirt and shorts built into one. There is a bit of a chamois in the seat of these as well, but they're smaller, so that way you can still swim in them, ride the bike in them, and also run in them without any chafing. And then there's like kind of a top shirt that is like zippers all the way down, but it's still attached in the back. So it's kind of like weird to put these things on, and if you have to go to the bathroom, they're kind of annoying to kind of get in and out of, but competing in them is absolutely fantastic. So this one has 2 pockets in the back, which I think is nice. The other one that I have only has one kind of like bigger pocket. So I do like the fact that there's 2 in here, and this seems really nice and comfortable. So hopefully, I was talking with my wife about it today at dinner. We're thinking maybe the kids will have vaccines before the end of the year, or sometime hopefully before the winter, but hopefully definitely by winter they'll have it. So I'm thinking we're gonna try and plan a family trip somewhere warmer this winter, maybe like end of December, early January, or maybe end of January kind of thing. So thinking I'll bring this with me, hopefully for a trip where I can go find a sprint triathlon somewhere warm and work on some more of that swimming, and also getting into another triathlon. I don't want to wait too long for my next one, so I kind of want to combine a couple of things that I'd like to do, both kind of personally in terms of competing and also family-wise. So I think that'd be a nice kind of fit. And if I do a race like that, then usually I could do that while everyone's like kind of sleeping, having breakfast at a hotel or whatever. And then, I'll meet up with everyone later, and then it'll be family time. So I think that'd be perfect. And then the last thing that Taren also sent was just the running jersey. So this one's nice. I like it. It's very soft, very breathable material. It reminds me a lot of the material that's on the back of the bib shorts. And it's got like very large scallops in the back of the jersey, which I really like. So like there's just not a lot of material back there. Breathes well, and the color work is really nice on this one. Normally not the colors that I would pick, but I think together, seeing it like this, I think it's really working. So I'm excited to put this stuff on, run in it, race in it, swim in it, all that stuff, and get on the bike some more. Thanks to Taren for sending all that. Very generous of you. And I appreciate the support as I am dipping my toes into a new sport. So definitely appreciate that. So that's what I want to talk about for today. Avoid the GoPro Hero Max. Well, maybe I'll give it another shot, but I don't know. We'll see. And if you're interested in some triathlon gear, I'll put links to Triathlon Taren's website in case you're interested in picking up some of that kit and showing your support for him and what he's doing over there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs and having better luck with your cameras than I am with mine. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?